Hello everyone, so I'm back with a video. It's been a little while. I don't know, I think it's this darkness that's taken over England at the moment. The days are very short and I find that I get up and I laze around drinking coffee and before you know it, it started getting dark. I mean, I don't know what the time is now. It's about 1:30 in the afternoon and it's really gloomy. So the lighting is quite bad. I've got my light on, my normal like room light, and 3 lamps on around the room, and still it's really shitty lighting. And I think that puts me off filming. I need to just get up and get on with it in the 5 minutes that the day is nice and bright. Maybe I'm being negative. I am being negative. I'm being negative. The days are not that short, but they are pretty short. So I think that's part of the reason why by the time I feel like I might have enough coffee in me to start filming, it's dark and I just think the lighting's going to be crap. But today the lighting is crap. It shouldn't be at this time of the day, but it is. And I'm just going to do it anyway because I really felt like I wanted to get a video out. So sorry for the long preamble. We're talking today about fragrances that I have been wearing on repeat. They're my go-to easy choice fragrances that I just know are very likable. I really enjoy wearing them. I never get bored. I can wear one of these perfumes I'm going to mention. I could wear the same one multiple times day after day and not get bored. So they are great. I find them really good for appointments. I've had a couple of beauty appointments and I've had a couple of medical appointments to attend, and these are the fragrances that I choose for those things for sure, because I just find them not too flirtatious or loud or, you know, try hard kind of thing. They're just sort of soft and kind of clean. And then I have, on the other hand, a selection of fragrances that I've worn over the last week or so that are a little more, they're rare choices. Not that I don't like them, I actually love them, but they are treats. They're either too special to wear all the time, too long lasting, too loud, or just don't always fit with everyday stuff. So I love to wear them, but I just don't wear them that often. So we're going to start with the ones that I wear all the time. So these are my sort of on repeat fragrances, but into the mix I'm going to throw some book excerpts. Is that the right word? Excerpts? A couple of books here that I've had for a few years now, I really love, and I thought that there's a couple of nice passages I'd like to read out that relate to these perfumes. So we're just trying to make it a little bit more interesting, mix it up a little bit. So we're going to start with Chanel No. 5. This is probably, out of these most worn, this is probably the least worn, although it's still worn probably once a week or so. So Chanel No. 5. I have this current formulation 100ml bottle. I got it secondhand, nice and cheap on eBay. That's how I like to buy my perfumes if I can. Certainly designers and more mainstream fragrances anyway. Chanel No. 5 is a recent love of mine. I always thought it was old-fashioned, the sort of fragrance that only the elderly might choose to wear. Very aldehydic, so very kind of sharp and fizzy and a little bit harsh. But I've really come around to it, and I definitely do really like the current formulation. I have tried lots of older versions of the Parfum and I think Eau de Parfum, and I find them, especially if you go back to when they used to be real civet in them, kind of a bit too animalic. Interesting, really great to kind of like smell and dissect, but not as wearable as this current formulation. The pure parfum of the current formulation is amazing as well, but it's not that different from the Eau de Parfum in my opinion, so I'm happy to just keep the Eau de Parfum. I wanted to read you from this book here about No. 5. The Perfume Companion is by Sarah McCartney and Samantha Scriven, and it's a really nice book. I'll show you the No. 5 page. It's not alphabetical for the perfumes, it's in different genres. So this is the aldehydes page or bit section, and of course and this is a lovely picture for every perfume, and there's a description by Yves, Sarah McCartney, who has full 160 Tuesdays, and Samantha Scriven, another fragrance writer and lover. So number 5 by Chanel, this is by Sarah McCartney, this particular writing. Chanel number 5 is a great perfume enhanced by even greater rumours. It wasn't the first fragrance to contain synthetic aldehydes, although this myth has taken hold among perfume fans. They have been around for decades, but number 5 used them at higher levels than was popular at the time. It's a bouquet of flowers with ylang-ylang, jasmine and rose in lead roles. Citrus fruits, woods and balsams, musks, and, in 1921, quite a dose of civet too. It's almost imperceptibly nudged up to date year after year, so now it's cleaner and lighter than 100 years ago. I have to agree with that. And a great deal more affordable in relative terms. The perfume, eau de parfum and eau de toilette exist, and you can find debates about their relative merits online. You do need to wear it for at least a day in your life just to decide where you stand with it. And I also agree with that, because as I said, I was not into it at all. And it was actually trying a body product that I got in a job lot on eBay. It was the number 5 lotion, and I really loved that. And I thought, do you know what, I really need to properly try the fragrances. And yeah, I did fall. I fell in love. I wouldn't say it's an absolute must-have perfume in my collection. I could live without it, but I'm really enjoying it at the moment. So yeah, Chanel number 5 for me. Definitely does have that fizzy, sharp, floral aldehyde, but it is softened by this powdery iris and this sweet and sort of slightly ambery base. I find it a little bit harsh to when you first apply it, and then over time it softens, and that the sort of sweeter base starts to come out, and the sharpness just softens, and it all just becomes a lot more approachable. But certainly I wouldn't just pop this on and go straight out the door if I was going somewhere where, you know, I mean, I would to go to the shops, but if I was going out on a day or out to meet friends or whatever, I would probably allow this to sit on my skin for at least half an hour before I went and met those people. So that's Chanel number 5. Now, one I've been talking about a lot in recent videos is Chanel Allure Eau de Parfum. I'm not going to dwell on it too much because I have mentioned it several times. This was sent to me by a very kind fragrance person, just completely out of the blue. They offered it to me. I didn't really know it that well at that point, and my initial impression was, this is nice, I don't know if it's going to rock my world. And then the next time I tried it, I was like, actually this is really good. And then after that it was a, yeah, this is so good that it's something that I wear multiple times a week even. It's a very comforting, I think for me it's probably more of a colder weather fragrance, but it's not that heavy that I couldn't wear it on a summer's evening and a spring day. But it definitely has this sort of vanillic ambery base. It's more vanillic than it is ambery. It's powdery. There's some floral notes. For me, I get ylang ylang. It's not a listed note, but I'll always say this, I definitely smell ylang ylang. I feel like there's probably a mixture of some white florals, maybe even a touch of rose, a little bit sweet, sort of honey-esque perfume, but it is definitely a flormond, which is my favourite genre of fragrance. So a mixture of florals and a sort of ambery sweetness. Really comforting, nice, decent longevity, so all day long on my skin. And I think if you're a vanilla lover, it's something that is well worth trying. And I'm wearing this a lot at the moment. So that's Chanel Allure Eau de Parfum. So another one, this is fairly new to back into my collection, but still I've made a fair sized dent for only having it a month or two. And this is another one that's probably getting as much use as Allure. It's Shalimar Souffle de Parfum, and it's another floral powdery scent, almost flourmond. Definitely has some vanilla in it, but it is more of a clean, musky fragrance, so it's lighter, more like laundry musk even. To me, it's a bit like wearing freshly laundered clothes, that kind of thing. It's almost soapy. I feel like it's, I actually haven't looked up the notes recently, but I feel like it's more orange blossom dominant than anything else. But it is very, very musky and then just softened by this vanillic background. I think there's probably some resins as well, maybe some benzoin. I mean, the original Shalimar, famous for its resinous base. This is not as harsh as the original Shalimar. The sort of original Shalimar had a fairly noticeable leather note, and the bergamot was very, very sharp and lemony, and we don't have that in here. We definitely do have some citrus. Almost certainly that bergamot is still in here, but it's fresh, but it doesn't have that really sharp edge. It's not as lemony, like makes your face all pucker up kind of thing, because I think it's just softened by this sweet vanilla and this muskiness, this soapy sort of muskiness. And for me, I can happily wear this day after day. I don't get bored of it, and I just know that I smell really good. For me, it's a daytime scent. No reason why I wouldn't wear it at night, but I would just probably pick something bolder if I was going out. This is a very approachable, wear around anyone, wear in any situation, and completely safe. And of course, you just adjust the dosage depending on what you're doing, where you're going. But excellent longevity and performance, just not annoying, obnoxious or beast modey, which I like. I like my perfumes to be moderate, average projection, longevity. I don't actually need massive longevity and projection from my perfumes, because I quite like to change them up sometimes. So I might wear that during the day and then something similar in the evening, just on top if I haven't showered. So that is Shalimar Souffle de Parfum. And then the final one in my wearing them all the bloody time category is Chanel number 22. Sorry for the heaviness of Chanel's, but it's just the way it is. And Chanel 22, this is the 200ml bottle, and I actually have two of these because I got very, very obsessed. Chanel number 22 has such a nice write-up in this book here. So this is Perfume by Neil Chapman. I actually don't know if this is still in production. If it is, or if you can find it out there on the second-hand market, I really do recommend it. And I'm going to read to you now the number 22 write-up. We've got a write-up on number 5 as well, but we've had one of those from the other book, so we're going to just do the number 22. So we've got the date. He puts the date of all of the releases against the perfume, and you have a small little icon showing you the picture of the bottle. So number 22 by Chanel, released a year after her legendary sibling and still available as part of Les Exclusives. The sweet opalesque and much less well-known number 22 is a more plaintive creature than her elder sister. Perfumer Ernest Beau's masterful dualism of warmth and cold, definitely agree with that. A slow repository of calm, it's like white flowers falling softly onto a passing swan's down. The perfume, best experienced in the Parfum, opens on an iridescent flourish of aldehydes and white summer flowers, orange blossom lilac, tuberose, ylang-ylang white roses, and a sweet powdery orchid. Bright aldehydes adding strength and light. The gradation? The gradation from the opening of elated flower essences to the gentle reflection The gradation from, I don't know what that word is, I'm sorry, from the opening of elated flower essences to the gentle reflective base is perfectly calibrated. The final accord on the skin is an unexpected delight, a grey smoked incense over vetiver and a sensitive embrace of dusted vanilla, a scent of exquisite inner resolve. I love that description, and I do really think that it does number 22 justice, because there is this cool, kind of fresh, snow-like feel that you get from the aldehydes, and then the warmth of the vanilla, and this whisper of incense that you get later on in the dry down. And just such a pretty floral, such a pretty floral. I love this. I could happily wear it every day, and sometimes I do. So that is Chanel number 22. So now we're going to move on to the fragrances that I have worn recently but I don't wear as often. And we'll start with Hera from Papillon. Here we are with Hera. As you can see, I've made a serious dent in this, but I don't wear it that often because it's so special. I would say it's probably my favourite perfume in the world. If not, it's in my top 3, because obviously I'm a fickle perfume lover and these things can change. But I really love this one. And it's very, very long lasting. It's a commitment, and that's one of the reasons why I don't wear it so much. So one reason is that it just feels so special that I don't feel like I want to wear it just on an average day of doing chores and going grocery shopping. It just doesn't feel right to do that to Hera. Secondly, it is a commitment. It will last me the whole entire day and then also way into the evening. And because it's so special, you know, that's the reason why I don't reach for it that often. When I finish this, I will get a bottle for sure. I don't want to be without it. Hera is a very natural smelling. If this was all natural, it wouldn't surprise me. I know it's not, because Liz told me. I think it's, most of her perfumes are about 50% natural, but this one is more natural than her usual. So it's highly natural. You can smell a mixture of florals. There's jasmine, there's orange blossom, I think there's ylang ylang, there's rose. You have this beautiful huge bouquet that is just so natural and sparkling. I think there's probably citruses in the top that give it a lift, and it sort of transitions into something like a chypre slash amber perfume. So there is vanilla, which sweetens it up, but there's also oak moss and patchouli, which lends it that sort of chypre-esque feel. So it's what I would call a beginner chypre fragrance. The oak moss does come out fairly noticeable, but it isn't a huge dose. It's not too much. I don't mind a little bit of oak moss, but sometimes once it's sort of, when it really dries down, oak moss can really take over in a perfume. And I wouldn't say that it does that in here, but it is there, it's noticeable. Just a really, there's iris in here as well, by the way, which I sometimes just get so used to how wonderful it smells, I forget to mention. This is an iris slash floral lover's dream. A really beautiful dose of iris, particularly noticeable in that first 20 minutes or so. It kind of like stands alone, and then it starts to sort of blend in with everything else and just lend it that gorgeous powdery concrete dust magic. This is such a special perfume. I wore it just the other day. In actual fact, I did wear it 2 days in a row, which is unheard of for me. But the reason being, I wore it the one day and then I happened to wear the same top. I'm such a skank. I wore the same top and it really smelled of this. Even though I don't spray it on my clothes, I think it just transfers from my skin. And because it's such a strong perfume, the top just smelled so much of Hera that I had to wear it again. Otherwise it would have been a clash. And of course it was such a treat to wear it 2 days in a row. So that's Papillon Perfumery Hera. 1, that I wore yesterday or the day before. I think it was the day before. Yeah, it was the day before because I saw my beloved boyfriend, and I decided to wear Unspoken Musk. This is definitely up there along with Hera. It's one of my favourite perfumes ever. Unspoken Musk from Francesca Bianchi. I love to wear the body oil, which comes in this 100ml bottle. And so yeah, I wore the Sublime oil. I love the fact that you can get this in your, you can put a little bit in your hair and then you get little wafts of it around you, which is great. And then the perfume, really concentrated. It's an extract perfume, same as Hera, very concentrated. And this one also took me through the entire day and then the entire evening. It didn't feel right to spray anything on top because it still was so strong. Unspoken Musk is a musk perfume, but it's an immortelle perfume and it's an iris perfume. This one, oh, it has a honey note as well. I think it has a honey note. If not, that might be the immortelle. It's a sort, the immortelle, if you don't know what that is it's a flower. It's called the everlasting flower, and it can have, I find it has a couple of different nuances. It smells a little bit like maple syrup, but it can also smell a little bit like cumin, not exactly like cumin, but similar, kind of like herbal and dry. The immortelle in here though, thankfully, I don't really get that cumin side of it. I just get the sort of maple syrupy, and it's almost honey-like maple syrupy side of it. So it's quite rich, definitely got vanilla in there as well in the dry down, very powdery, lots and lots of iris and musk. It's just beautiful. It's fairly simplistic. It gently changes on your skin. It doesn't do lots. It just very slowly unfolds on your skin, and I think I love it the most right to the last few hours of it, when it's almost just a vanilla powder, but there's something special about it. It's not just vanillin and musk. It is so much better than that. There is a floral in here. I think it's magnolia. I don't really pick up on too much floral. I mostly get powder, iris, vanilla, almost incensey as well, so a little bit mysterious smelling. So that is Unspoken Musk, and the only reason I don't wear it a lot is really the same reasons as Hera, in that it feels too special to just wear it all the time, and it's such a commitment as well. So that's why it's a less often worn. But this is, I believe it's my second or third bottle, so I really love this one. And one I haven't worn in ages, I really enjoyed wearing the other day. I wore this to a beauty appointment. Actually, it's a tattoo removal appointment, and I thought I should wear something that's approachable, likeable, clean. And so this could be along with my my initial fragrances I showed you, but I don't actually wear it that often, for I don't really know why. But I wore it, as I say, the other day, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's Soleil Neige from Tom Ford. And this one, it's another musky floral. This one has, I always used to say it had ambrette in it because I was sure it did, but it's carrot seed, I think. And it doesn't list ambrette, but it is very musky, powdery, clean, musky, powdery, with a really lovely floral. I think there is some rose, but for me it leans more in the white floral direction. There's an acidity to it that some people might not like. I do find, you know how citrus fruits can be acidic? I do find it a little bit acidic, but I don't mind it. I just suspect that not everyone's going to love it. And it definitely has some sweetness in the base. I can't remember whether it's vanilla. It's not like a really distinctive vanilla. It could be a benzoin, or it's like a mixture of some slightly sweet resins. It definitely is a bit sweet. This one did last all day, but it's not so strong that I wouldn't, come evening time, spray something else on top, which I did. Can't remember what now, but Soleil Neige, I'm actually almost out of it. Yeah, I can just about see it. I think I've only got that much left. I don't wear it that often. I've had this bottle for several years. I don't know if I will replace it when it runs out, but wearing it the other day, I did feel like I probably would replace it, but obviously who knows? Who knows? The last one then, I wore this the other day. I don't reach for it that often, and it is Paris from Yves Saint Laurent. This one is a vintage bottle that I picked up on eBay for a very good price. When I wore it, I felt so pretty. It's quite bold when you first spray it. It's a very much a rose and violet scent. Lots and lots of other flowers in here. I won't list them all, but I think there was hyacinth. There's some green, sort of green, more green flowers. Powdery, irisy, musky, slightly sweetened, but kind of fresh and sharp on the top. Very much violet, iris, rose for me, but yeah, with this like zest, with this life force of its own. So I'm going to read to you from this book again. Paris by Yves Saint Laurent came out in 1983. Like Estée Lauder's Beautiful and Calvin Klein's Eternity, both big decade-defining perfumes by Belarus American star perfumer Sophia Grossman, the official queen of the rose perfume. Paris was another colossal 80s success and one of Yves Saint Laurent's top sellers even to this day. A thrustful effervescence of roses, violet, hyacinth and mimosas with Bastille storming exuberance. Paris leaves the current coterie of main YSL perfumes looking decidedly insipid. So that's from that book there, and that was my final perfume, Paris from Yves Saint Laurent. Let me know what are your fragrances that you wear all the time on repeat and they just take you anywhere safely, happily, smelling good. Let me know in the comments. If you like this video, feel free to support the channel on the Ko-fi link, which I will link in the description below. And I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.